What up, what up, what up, peeps? We are back again with the COVID cabal. Back again with the COVID cabal. Let me just get this video out right now. Let me see here. What's up, peeps, when you're here? What's up, peeps? What is up? What is up? What is up? What up? What up? What up? What's up, Alan? Tay Simps. Thank you, Elvis. Appreciate the salutations. Yeah, we're rolling. We're rolling right now. We got the baby boy. All is well. All is well. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it all very much. Trying to get myself a comfortable position here. We got to do this. Use a computer as a footstand. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, I saw that we had to do this. I was thinking we had to do it before the speech tonight. But even just over the course of the afternoon, there's been so much happening that I've almost not been able to keep up with it. Yeah, I think we're at the precipice right now. So we got the 20 people in here. So let's dig in. This is big, guys. I really think this is it. From the last show, which we did right after the election, I think that the overall sense was that is really the whole thing is a clown show, and it can't go on like it much longer. So if we are reading things correctly, which I always felt that we are fundamentally, that it was coming, and I think we're getting we're getting the clarification that it is indeed coming. Now, how exactly it's going to manifest is probably undecided. I don't want to say even debatable. It's probably undecided. For instance, because let's talk about this. Let's be mature and let's talk about this like it is. Okay, so this is a chess match. You have two different sides that are playing this game. And so when we predict a different timeline or a different possibility, what we're doing is we're showing moves on the board that can be made. Now, the moves, if a move is seen, then it's generally a less valuable move. Because if a move can be seen and anticipated very obviously and clearly, then it can be prepared for. So I want to point this out because when we go to try to predict things, it's never going to be exactly as we predict. We're rarely going to be exactly as we predict. Because if it was that easy to predict, then it would be a really bad move to make. So, for instance, we talked about the fact that they might postpone the elections. And that didn't happen, right? And I haven't actually got any crap about it, but, some people might give crap about saying it. But I think what's important to acknowledge here, and people maybe don't give a fuck, but I'm going to say it anyway, which is that by acknowledging a potential move, you reduce the possibility of that move occurring. So when we were talking about one of their possible moves was to postpone the election, that removed the possibility or the likelihood of them using that, because now it was seen, and so they couldn't use it as some sort of surprise move. The move that surprised everybody was, remember, Trump staying in office. That was the one that surprised everybody in the Awake community. It surprised the cabal too. They did not expect that to occur. And that's why it was a good move, because it kept them unprepared. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. Now, in the last few days, we have seen exactly what you would expect. It looks like Republicans are going to keep the House by, I don't even know how many votes it is. Is it like 5 votes? I mean, what is it? It's less than 5 votes. I mean, it's an insignificant margin, absolutely insignificant margin, pathetic margin. 6, yeah. So, and, the Democrats are going to take the Senate. This would be their little plan that they always, Pelosi's leaving, so they're not going to give Pelosi the House. They're going to give it to the McCarthy, who's been waiting his turn. He needs to, we need another person to lead the anti-Trump coalition, so they decided to give them the Senate. Everybody's got to get their turn. Everyone's got to get their dick wet. That's just the way it is with these people. Pelosi's going to become ambassador to Italy, so no longer need to make sure that she has the House. Okay. So everything went exactly as we expected with the election, that if they were going to go forward with it, it was just going to be the biggest clown show in the world, stealing all these races, stealing all certain, certain states. And Michigan was a really bad example, right? With, they basically made the state, what they do is they take a city and they, because you don't have blue states, you have blue cities. And all you need is like this one county, sometimes 1 or 2 counties in a state. And they use the voting machines to figure out what, how many people didn't vote. And then they just stagger in ballots over the coming days that they need in those controlled cities to get the votes to take the state. And so they changed the state constitution in Michigan, so the Secretary of State is the only one who can deal with election fraud related matters. The biggest one, of course, Pennsylvania obviously was a clusterfuck, but the biggest one, of course, is Arizona, where Carrie Lake overwhelmingly beat Katie Hobbs. I mean, Katie Hobbs would not even show up to debate. Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State. I mean, this stuff is so egregious that even the most fucking retarded normie should be able to see it. It's not even really, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you don't have someone like, oh, well, Dr. Oz was a bad candidate. Meanwhile, Fetterman can't string a sentence together, and they don't talk about that. But, they'll say Oz was a bad candidate. Okay. No, Carrie Lake was not a bad candidate. Carrie Lake was a very good candidate. So, okay. So Maricopa's a clusterfuck, and Carrie Lake's not giving up. And so I'm going to tell you guys that Arizona will get reversed, and Arizona is going to be the catalyst for the entire country with this stuff. And there's been a couple things that have indicated that to us. Yeah. It's obvious Carrie Lake won. And and the thing is, even just from basic data stuff, the treasurer received more votes than Carrie Lake. I mean, they're really sloppy. They don't have the time for it. We are there, guys. We're there. It's coming. So in the last few days, Trump has been retruthing tons and tons of Q-related stuff. It's like nonstop. And let me see if I can bring some of them up. If I can go bring some of these up, maybe I'll read them out here. Let me see. Just a few. I mean, I've been seeing a ton of them today. Let's see, I got it all right here. Yeah, so he retweeted the Q post that says, ask yourself an honest question. Why would a billionaire who has it all, fame, fortune, a warm and loving family, friends, etc., want to endanger himself and his family by becoming POTUS? Why would he want to target himself and those he cares about? Does he need money? Does he need fame? What does he get out of this? Does he want to make the U.S. world a better place for his family and those good and decent people who have been long taken advantage of? Perhaps he could not stomach the thought of mass murders occurring to satisfy Moloch. Maybe he could not stomach the thought of children being kidnapped, drugged, and where is this? And raped while leaders, law enforcement of the world turn a blind eye. Perhaps he was tired of seeing how certain races, countries were being constantly abused and kept in need, poor, and suffering for a specific purpose. Perhaps he could not in good conscience see the world burn. So he retruthed someone who replied to this, replied to him with this. He retruthed, you'll love how this movie ends. He retruthed, God, where the fuck are those things here? He said, another giant election scam, wake up America. He retruthed, let's finish this. He retruthed, don't call it a comeback, the lion has never left. He retruthed this, Trump thing. Trump is always 17 moves ahead. So, that'll just give you a taste of it. The last one here is at an exact 4-year delta. Pew just had a post that said 53 to 47. And then that same day, the news said that Katie Hobbs had beaten Kari Lake 53-47% in Maricopa. And of course, we have the various Q posts about Maricopa itself being the hotspot. So we also are fortunate in that we have Kari Lake, who is not a quitter. She's cut from the same cloth, no bullshit. She hasn't conceded. So this is not someone who's for sale. So I think it's going to get broken open in Maricopa. I think it's going to get broken open in Maricopa, and we are going to see. I don't know. Blake Master just conceded. I don't know if that's like a tactical thing or he's not in the know. I don't think he's in the know. He was not placed as close as Kari Lake. But I'm going to tell you guys, it doesn't really matter because this is not like Kari Lake's not going to concede and she's going to be the governor of Arizona come in January. No, it's not what's going to happen. Okay, I don't know a lot of what's going to happen, but I'll tell you this. This whole election is totally fucked across the entire country. And I do think that if the move's going to be made, it's going to be made in the coming weeks and months. I think between the holidays, put it that way. At some point before Christmas, and I think it might be faster than that, we are going to see the military make their move. That the white hats make their move. And the reason for it is pretty obvious, which is that at this point morale is pretty battered. It's pretty battered, right? People know exactly what's going on. They feel helpless to stop it. And it's not, and that kind of attitude can really lead to some desperate stuff. On top of all the election theft, we have FTX. Just for those of you who haven't been following this, the short of it is that the FTX owner, Bankman Fried or whatever his last name, his whole family is connected to the cabal. It seems like he was groomed for this position within crypto. He has this becomes a multi-billionaire pretty much overnight with this, exchange. And then all FTX has been doing is that politicians have been sending money to Ukraine, and Ukraine has then been investing into FTX, which then was investing into Democratic and certain Republican, rhino candidates. So he basically was just a money laundering operation. And it's right in plain sight because once we had Elon Musk take over Twitter, this information is actually able to start to flow. So you can start to see how one move starts to set up things for other moves. So now we have what's clear foreign interference in an election. We have massive fraud across the country. The newspapers are going on acting like nothing's happened, but I actually almost think it's like an eerie kind of quiet. And Trump is getting more aggressive. So that brings us to our current moment right now. What's Trump going to do? What's going to happen tonight? I don't think anybody knows exactly what's going to happen tonight. I think for certain he's gonna announce a run for president. I don't know if that's all he's going to do. It seems to me if that was all he was going to do, it'd be kind of like, a guy saying he's got the biggest dick in the world, and he takes it out and it's 5 inches. You know what I mean? It's kind of like 5.5 inches. It's like, okay, this is average. This isn't, a little bit of a letdown here. I don't know if he's gonna say he's gonna start his own party. I don't know if that's a thought that people have had. He is not gonna go and say, like, that Biden's not the real president and that the military's been. He's not gonna say any of that shit. People have been putting that around. That would make him sound like Looney Tunes. So, look, 5.5 is average. 5.5. If you guys don't feel insecure about yourself, I'm just saying that, you probably don't want to go around saying you've got the biggest dick in the world. Well, J.L. Newman, yeah. Do we have to at least start preparing for the fact that it's not going to happen? Yeah, of course. I think we all should be prepared for that. And I think people are preparing, but that's actually the problem, right? Is that if they don't do stuff, it could very well spill over in a bad direction. And that's what I don't think that they want to happen. I don't know though if Trump is he going to make a speech? Is he going to say that the midterms were stolen? Is he going to tell the American people to not accept them? What's going to happen exactly? I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen. But what I can tell you is that I expect him to get arrested in the aftermath of this speech. That's what I expect to happen. I expect him to get arrested in the aftermath of this speech. And because he is going to really taunt them. He's going to really taunt them. And I don't think that they're even going to care about the fact that he is that he's now going to announce his run for presidency. So I think he's going to get arrested. And that may lead to massive protest across the country. And this may be the start of all the pretense for the military to sort of make their move. I don't know the mechanisms. No idea how this is all going to happen. But what I want to tell people, J.L. Newman, totally understand where all you guys are coming from. Totally understand that people would, are pretty black-pilled. Because, we've gone through a lot of punishment, but we're tough. We're tough. We have held the line. But yeah, it's been tough. I think that we can all acknowledge it's been tough. It's not only just tough because things are getting worse. It's tough because it's almost like so many people can't see what we're talking about. And so we have to deal with this subtle level of ostracization or alienation because we're seeing these things and people are like, you're crazy, you're wrong. And you have to deal with that psychological pressure. But here's the thing. Why the fuck is Trump constantly why is he doing that? Why is he if this was just a thing to like mess with us, why is Trump putting himself so far out there? He's not an idiot, right? He's not an idiot. Okay? He may be angry right now, but he's not an idiot. Like, I just don't get how people will say, well, Trump's crazy too. That's not a good answer. You can't just dismiss these things. You can say you don't know. You can say it's interesting, you don't know, you're going to hold it in reservation. But to just say it's flat out wrong, it's not going to happen, is ignorance. It's ignorance. It doesn't pattern, it doesn't make sense. Trump is acting like he has a couple of really big cards to play. He's acting like a confident man. He's not acting like a pussy. And so I think that we're in good hands right now. We do need to see some action, but I think that we're there. I really think that we're there. I think that this is the time period. Because let's think about this now. Who knows how it plays out exactly? Do we have new elections? And does that mean we, is this invalidated? Do we undergo some kind of military control period? How long is that period of time? Is that a year? Does that mean we have new elections for the entire Congress? Because remember, that executive order came